Hey, today we're going to take a look at some new features we've added to power factors. These new features are going to be very helpful in creating mixes, make things a little bit easier and a little bit more fun for you. To use power factors, you have to be testing a report that you've saved or looking at race results. So just to refresh you, to create a report, you go to the tools, create my report, you select a date range, a track, a surface, a distance, um, a class rating, whatever you want to find here, whatever you want to search on. We're going to look at Belmont 1 mile dirt claiming and optional claiming races just to get ready for the upcoming Belmont meet, which starts on Friday. So we've selected these. We've selected all of the ones we want to use, which is the first 20. I've sorted them by date, so the most recent 20. Saved the report, called it Belmont 8 furlongs dirt claiming. You hit the test button, and that brings this report up and the test my report view. Now, once you have this view in place with a saved report, you can start using the power factors. And for those who have used this in the past, you're going to notice some changes when you click the power factors button, and I'll explain those to you now. Now, when it comes up, you're going to see win percent, place percent, and show percent. What this shows you is how predictive each factor was individually. So if I turned on any one of these factors, this is what I could expect to see on the results screen for as far as win percentage, place percentage, show percentage, and you can click on those columns to sort them to find the best and the worst. And best being most accurate. In this case, it's average speed last 3, and the worst being last finish position. So the newest thing that we've added is called factor accuracy. And the way that this differs from the win percentage, place percentage, and show percentage is that this factor accuracy is looking at how accurate that factor was from top to bottom. A perfect score for a factor in factor accuracy would be a factor that had the race results 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the winner was ranked first, the second place horse was second, third, and fourth, and so on. So it had them in the exact right order. The more accurate a factor is, the higher the factor accuracy score will be. In this case, average speed last 3 did the best job of ranking the horses in the order that they actually finished. The worst one was last turn time. It did have a winner, and it had some place horses and show horses, and it's not a bad factor, but as far as being accurate from top to bottom, it wasn't. Now, the factor accuracy numbers are very helpful when you are trying to create exacta and trifecta mixes. So you would use those basically when you're at any point, but also when you're trying to get them in the exact order from top to bottom. The other thing we've added is called average rank of winner using the current settings. So this lets you know, as you're adding factors and changing weights, how accurate or where your winner is and on average within all these races that you're looking at. So let's look at the power factors again, and let's start off. We'll pick a factor that seems to be the best, average speed last 3. We'll go ahead and turn that on down here, and by turn it on I mean just give it a value. So we'll go ahead and set that at I'll just type in 40 here. That's a kind of a good level to start with. As we're going to be adding other factors, we can increase and decrease them, and this is still going to be a very heavily weighted factor. So we can see that having that turned on by itself, it's predicted 30% winners, and the average rank of the winner in each race is 3. So that means when I go over here and if I were to count all these up, the winner in this race was actually ranked 5th. The winner over here is ranked 2nd. Over here he's ranked 1st, 6th, 2nd, etc. So as you add in more factors, you'll easily be able to see how that factor is impacting the average rank of the winner. The goal is to get this to 1. If you had this to if your average rank was 1, that would mean that you had the winner in the first in every single race in your report. And we have 20 races in this report, so it's going to be extremely difficult to get everything to exactly 1. So now we'll start adding in some other factors to see how they impact the average rank, and then how that affects the overall score here as far as win, place, show, and exacta, trifecta, and of course the profit. So let's look at the next factor here, which was as far as factor accuracy goes, we'll say average speed last 3. And we'll find out if that helps or hurts our cause here. So if we start using average speed last 3, notice how I'm turning that on, and you can see that the average is moving down. So at some point, now it's at 2.7 when I have that at 100 and this at 40. So that actually lets me know that this is probably the better factor to be using from the get-go. So I can turn that to 40 and see if I can reduce this a little bit, and now I can get that to 270. So we can start adding in factors one by one to see how they impact that overall rank. So when we start off here, we're at 270. As I add this, I can just kind of see how that changes, and its low point here is 225. So this is a very useful factor. So now I've got it at the average rank of the winner at 2.25. You can see that I've got 9 winners, 15 place, and 16 show. Not a bad mix at all for this race type. It's profitable, but I think we can probably do a little bit better if we added in some more factors. So you can literally just start moving them one at a time to see how it impacts the average rank of where the winner is. And each time you do that, you're going to know if you're helping or hurting, because that number is either going to get bigger or smaller. And again, your goal is to make that as close to 1 as possible. So each time you do something, each time you add something, are you getting better or are you getting worse? And it's also important to keep an eye. Let me zoom in here a little bit so you can get a better look at this. Each time you're doing this, you're going to not only see that the average is changing, it's going up or down, but the number of winners you have and the win percentages are going to go up and down as well. So let's look at last E1 pace. We're starting off with 225. Now moving that up, now I'm at 210. So now I've added another winner here. That was at 9. My average rank's gone from 215 to 210. I can go back to 0 here, and you can see it was at 225 without last E1 pace. And we have 9 wins. Now as we add more E1 pace, now I'm down to 215 and I have 10 winners. I have 50% wins, 80% place, 90% show, 65% exactas, and 40% trifectas. That's a pretty strong mix, but I'm going to go ahead and fiddle with this a little bit more. I'm going to put this video on pause so you don't have to watch as I do this, and let's see how accurate we can get it. Okay, so I've gone through each one of these factors, and I've added them one at a time and tried to get my average rank as close to 1 as I possibly could. And I spent about 5 minutes doing this, going back and forth, turning these up and down. And you can see here that it's turned out to be a pretty good mix here. So I got it to 1.8, 13 wins, which is 65%, 85% on place and show, 70% exactas, and 50% trifectas. So this is the last 21-mile dirt claiming races at Belmont. It's not a bad mix at all. You can see that there's some really chalky horses here that it got. It got of course the 280 winner and the horse that paid 380, but it also had some double-digit winners in there as well. 1480 here, 1060, 13, 10, $16. So it did fairly well at picking heavy favorites as well as some medium-priced and longer horses. And this is the mix here. And again, it's a little bit time-consuming when you first start doing this, or not time-consuming, but it's the kind of thing that as you do it and play with it, you'll get better and better at it. And when you go up here and look at your when you look at the power factors, this will really guide you and help you know which ones to turn on and weight more heavily than others. You can see that last race class, which is at 85% show, I have weighted very heavily here, and so it follows that the factors that are the most predictive are the ones that you would weight the heaviest. But there will also be circumstances where factors in combination are going to be more predictive overall than just single factors. So in this particular mix, we're using about 11 factors, which is a little bit on the high side, but the results are very good. Now, of course, the test of all this is, does this mix work for future races? And this is a great starting point for you to say, well, this is how I'm going to handicap 1 mile dirt claiming and optional claiming races at Belmont. I'll go ahead and save this mix. Y'all can pull it up in the library if you want to. I will call it Belmont 8 furlong dirt claiming. I'll fill in this information here as well. And you can pull that up in the mix library later. So again, these are the new features here. Should be very helpful when you're creating mixes. And this new factor accuracy score that we've created, we'll talk a little bit more about that right now. Just to rehash that, it differs from a single factor because we're not just looking at the win, place, and show of the top ranked horse. We're looking at how well it was overall in predicting the entire finish order of the race. So let's take another quick look at that, and we'll see that the most accurate one was average of last 3 late pace. And so I'll reset everything right here, and I'll turn on average of last 3 late pace and find an example. So looking at this race here, you can see that it was had the first place horse in first. The second ranked horse was 6th, but the third ranked horse was 2nd, and the fourth ranked horse was 3rd. So it was almost exactly right, except for that it had these two switched. So overall, that's a pretty good factor because from top to bottom, it was did pretty well in getting the horses in the right order. So this is looking at every race in the report that you're using and coming up with a number there that it's kind of complicated how it's calculated, but just understand that the higher that number is in power factors, the more accurate it is overall. And we will be using these power factors in the future, especially the factor accuracy numbers, to automate a lot of the process of creating mixes. So for those of you who've been waiting for the multi-race mix maker, that'll be coming soon, and it will rely heavily on using the factor accuracy numbers in addition to the overall factor score. So a lot of neat stuff coming, but this is just kind of a way for you to get involved in creating your own mixes, and hopefully it makes it easier. And as usual, if you have any questions, please shoot me an email. I'll be happy to walk you through this if you need help or answer any questions that you have. And good luck at Belmont and the upcoming Churchill meet, and hope you like it. Thanks.